So in this video, I will give more detailed information about what exercise is better to delay nervous aging. You have to decide for yourself. This guy on this photo is 66 years old. I'm 67, but actually he looks better than me. I'm just come and try to get more muscles, but it works. I should say it works. But again, you have to be smart enough, understand what exercises are doing to your body, and exercises are very big part of the rejuvenation the rejuvenation process. So I recommend you to download this presentation as PDF file from the link in the description. You will get access to sources of information. You can go into own research and decide what is better for you. And again, maybe results of your research and conclusions of your research will be different from my opinion. It is normal. It is science. It is how I do science. I read scientific publications. I try to make some tests, and then I get to my own opinion, which works for me, but maybe it will not work for you. So please invest some more time in it if you want to get healthy and live long. Okay, let's go. Most cells in our bodies is in full aerobic conditions produce energy through the Krebs cycle, oxidative phosphorylation, and electron transfer chain in mitochondria. The only exception is red blood cells, which have no mitochondria and need glucose to produce energy. In conditions of hypoxia, so the shortage of oxygen, mitochondrial cells produce more free radicals, which called reactive oxygen species. And under normal conditions, enzymes like superoxide dismutase, catalase, and glutathione protect cells from oxidative damage. But at high concentrations, free radicals may damage cell membranes, mitochondria, and DNA. It's called oxidative stress, and it may lead to the death of the cells, so-called apoptosis. In conditions of chronic hypoxia, some cells get transformed into so-called senescent cells and use glycolysis to produce energy to protect themselves from oxidative stress. So they just do it to protect themselves from oxidative stress, because glycolysis is not producing reactive oxygen species. So it is a way to escape the death. So this, you see, normoxy, the cells use oxygen and they produce very efficiently produce energy, but in a condition of hypoxia, everything is changed, and then you will get different structure of tissues. Glycolysis is the conversion of glucose into pyruvate and lactic acid in the cytoplasm of cells without the use of oxygen. While glycolysis itself is much less efficient in terms of energy production compared to oxidative phosphorylation, it is a very fast way to produce energy. Therefore, hyperactive cells such as cancer cells, senescent cells, and cells infected by viruses depend on glycolysis and lactic acid production for rapid energy production when oxygen is available, even when oxygen is available. So it is so-called the Warburg effect, and this is a hallmark of many cancer types, but it is also works for senescent cells. Senescent cells produce pro-inflammatory signal molecules or senescent associated secretory phenotype, SASP, to ignite local inflammation and angiogenesis, which is the growth of new blood vessels to improve blood flow to the infected, to the inflamed area of to inflamed tissue. So again, this slide you see that normally energy produced in mitochondria through the oxidative phosphorylation, it is very efficient way to produce energy. But also in anaerobic conditions with shortage of energy, even normal cells can shift to glycolysis and produce pyruvate and then produce lactate, and lactate is getting out from the cells, and this is not very efficient way of producing energy. You see, only 2 ATP molecules produced in glycolysis, and 34 ATP molecules produced from 1 molecule of glucose in oxidative phosphorylation. Big difference, you see. But cancer cells and some hyperactive cells, they use this even anaerobic and aerobic glycolysis. They use this way to produce energy even in presence of oxygen. Only 5% of energy produced in the mitochondria, and the rest is due to glycolysis. And if there is a shortage of oxygen, the mitochondria produce a lot of reactive oxygen species. So they produce free radicals, very active chemically, and they damage the membrane of cells and DNA, etc. So they can lead to the apoptosis, death of cells. Senescent CASP activates fibroblasts to produce more collagen, and activation of fibroblasts is necessary to accelerate wound healing and tissue repair at younger age. It is normal process. If you have inflammation and some part of tissues or cells are damaged, then this activation of fibroblasts helps to accelerate healing. So, but ASP may also trigger the transformation of healthy fibroblasts into a state of senescence to increase the concentration of this senescence-associated secretive phenotype. So it is self-supporting process. So the concentration of SASP is increasing locally over time and attracts immune cells, which are supposed to kill senescent cells and destroy excess of collagen. So this is how the healing process has to be completed. However, with age, the process of tissue repair gets compromised because of the increased stiffness of the extracellular matrix. Indeed, sugar molecules cross-link collagen fibers so that stiffness of the extracellular matrix gradually increases with age, and the migration of immune cells get compromised. So immune cells migrate through this frame of which supports our body, which supports our cells, and they migrate into the site of inflammation, and to complete the healing, to complete the process of the repair of the tissues. But because of stiffness, it is slowed down, it is compromised, and then it is process go to aging, to chronic inflammation. So this is how glycation looks like in principle. So you have healthy collagen frame, and especially in skin it is so. But collagen bonds with this collagen fibers with sugar molecules, and then stiffness of the skin and stiffness of all tissues, and especially blood vessels, are increasing, and with very bad consequences. So you see, it's very, appearance of old people is certainly different. They have not elastic skin, and also not elastic tissues, not elastic blood vessels, because of glycation, and sugar is toxic, you see. Sugar is toxic, just remember that. And sugar you get from carbohydrates. If you eat carbohydrates, then you actually damage your body, and you are supposed to live shorter. Also, our immune system gets overloaded with an increased inflow of toxins, foreign proteins, and pathogens, bacteria through the inflamed and damaged epithelium layer in our guts. This is so-called leaky gut syndrome. So the number of senescent cells increases with age, and chronic inflammation of tissues develops. At some age, the number of senescent cells and the level of chronic inflammation increases exponentially, leading to tissue fibrosis and eventually death of the body. If the core cause of aging is stiffening of extracellular matrix, what can we do to keep our bodies in balance and to delay aging, or maybe reverse aging? Okay, then as the first, because we just think, okay, if the first stage of arterial stiffness is stiffening is the destruction of elastin fibers, we have to find a way to produce elastin fibers even in older age. and to improve elasticity of blood vessels. So we have to do something. Okay, so you see this I made some again short description, short short description how why we age, and this is my opinion why we age, what we can to do to reverse aging. It is my opinion is much different from dominating opinion that our age dominating opinion in medical professionals. It is that we are aging because our cells are aging. It is, in my opinion, wrong, because all cells can be replaced by stem cells. We have stem cells in our tissues, and we have stem cells which can be produced in bone marrow. So it is not a problem to replace all the cells damaged or malfunctioning cells to replace with stem cells. It is not a problem, and no need to inject stem cells from some donor. We can produce these stem cells ourselves, but if only if we will reduce stiffening of the extracellular matrix. This is the core cause of the aging, in my opinion. So it is much different from opinion of other people. So, and I propose the way of rejuvenation different from other people. So mind that you have to do your own research and maybe agree or disagree with my opinion. It is up to you. This how the elastin collagen fibers look like after cross-linking. You see that they destroyed, the cross-link, they're losing elasticity, and the elastin fibers also destroyed. So it is big changes in extracellular matrix. And imagine that actually in our extracellular matrix, the immune cells are trying to migrate through this framework of the elastin fibers and collagen fibers. And if it is elastin fibers, they are elastic, so the cells can go through. But if it is stiff collagen fibers, they cannot get through, and then all the work of immune system is compromised. Okay, let's go to exercises. Progressive overload resistant exercise training involves gradually increasing the weight, frequency, repetitions, or duration of resistant exercise to stimulate mass growth. Yeah, this principle aims to avoid a workout plateau and enhance muscle and strength growth. Progressive overload not only stimulates muscle hypertrophy, but also stimulates development of stronger and denser bones, ligament, tendons, and cartilage. So you can read. But it is to relatively young people. It relates to relatively young people, sure. Intense and regular resistance exercise, particularly when performed in a way that leads to progressive overload, and it is producing muscle fatigue. So this is how it works. You get in progressive overload. That means you're working until you cannot repeat anymore because of fatigue. Fatigue stop you to do more repetitions, and this is normal. This is how you get get bigger muscles. So, and again, it leads to muscle fatigue, and because of fatigue, because of damage of muscle cells, it is actually can contribute to arterial stiffness. How? Why? Because intense resistant exercise, especially when performed with heavy weights, has to be done to break to destroy the muscle cells and then to start the process of this muscle growth. Then it can induce metabolic stress, certainly, because cells are damaged. And then inflammation in the muscle. Inflammation is a reaction of your body, of other cells to damaged cells. Okay, then you start inflammation, and the inflammation response may lead to localized swelling, oxidative stress, and excessive production of collagen by fibroblasts, affecting the arterial walls. Okay, so you see how this you try to start this growth of muscles. It is certainly stress. It is certainly some muscle cells are destroyed, and then you start this process and swelling, that's inflammation, and then activation of stem cells to grow muscles. But it is all necessary to grow muscles. But the local inflammation also leads to excessive production of collagen by fibroblasts, including fibroblasts in arterial walls, and then the arterial walls are getting stiffer. So you see that bodybuilders who go this way, they actually stiffness of the arterial stiffness, they increasing. So you have to be smart to do exercises properly. Here at this slide, we see that arterial compliance, that is arterial actually elasticity, is decreasing with resistant exercise. So it is getting stiffer, okay? And this here stiffness, okay, you see is with resistant exercise, arterial stiffness is increasing. It is actually relates to your age. So if you go only to resistant exercises, especially with overload to grow muscles, especially in older age, you accelerate your aging. Yeah, no wonder that some bodybuilders live not long. This person died 22 years or young, old, yes, and 46, in the age of 46. You see, you have to be very careful about this. I don't say that you should not do it, but you have to do it smart way. Okay, this is what I try to explain, what to do and how to grow muscles, and simultaneously how to ignite rejuvenation of your body. Aerobic exercise has been shown to reduce arterial stiffness in various studies, including those involving healthy individuals of different ages. So you can read publications. And also individuals with cardio risk factors. So healthy individuals typically require longer and more intense exercise for notable changes, while older and diseased individuals can benefit from less intense exercise programs. Okay, aerobic exercises induces angiogenesis, so it is production of the growth of new blood vessels, and it improves blood flow in your tissues, while it is inhibited by aging. The growth of angiogenesis it is inhibited by aging and accumulation of senescent cells. So you see, aerobic exercises can start your rejuvenation. You can start, or at least they slow your aging. Aerobic exercises can stimulate the bone marrow production of endothelium progenitor cells that contribute to the regeneration of endothelium, angiogenesis, vasodilation, and hypertension reduction. So okay, you see how important in older age to keep your vascular system in healthy, and this what you can do. Aerobic exercises with progression that is increasing load or duration in time further supports reduction of both the systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure levels in younger individuals with hypertension. Oh, guys, so in my opinion, in previous videos, I described that, in my opinion, your age, or at least vascular age, depends on stiffness of your blood vessels. And if some ways like aerobic exercise, you can reduce stiffness of your blood vessels, then it relates to your rejuvenation. Yeah, so it is, you can rejuvenate your body or slow down the stiffening of your body with aerobic exercises. Okay, so you see that aerobic exercises are very important to get elasticity in your blood vessels. It is very well known fact. It is no doubt that it works. But if you don't do exercises, if you keep a sedentary lifestyle, you are getting eventually stiff arteries because again, if you have better blood flow, better oxygen delivery, then it is rejuvenating your body. So you can get from this, even in old age, you can get from stiff artery to a little bit more elastic and compliant artery just doing aerobic exercise. So this is the way to slow down or even rejuvenate your body. Aerobic exercises is effective in reducing systolic blood pressure and resting heartbeat rate when compared with resistant exercises. Okay, again, quite many publications show that aerobic exercise is absolutely necessary that while resistant exercise can accelerate your aging if it is done only resistant exercises, but aerobic exercises, they are actually very good. They slow down aging in even reverse. And intense aerobic exercise reduces arterial stiffness, while intense resistant exercises may increase arterial stiffness in young men. Okay, look again. So in young men or relatively young men, like 40, yeah. So the intense aerobic exercises slow down aging, but intense resistant exercises like bodybuilders doing, they increase arterial stiffness, they accelerate aging. So you have to be smart. You need, you want to grow muscles, do it wisely. Okay, it's possible, but you have to do it wisely. Resistant exercise significantly increase arterial stiffness in older adults, but performing aerobic exercises before high-intensity resistant exercises may prevent arterial stiffening caused with resistant exercises alone. Yeah, I mean, I did it a year ago. I was coming to gym and I was doing 1 hour rowing before resistant exercise, before the strength exercises, and it was because there were publications that is in such order aerobic exercises before high intensity resistant exercises, they are more efficient to grow muscles, but honestly I didn't see big results. Of course, it worked, but despite my big efforts, I was not satisfied with the results. So, but again, in other study, it is individual. In another study, aerobic exercises after high intensity resistant exercises reduced arterial stiffness in older men aged 70.5 years, whereas it did not change if aerobic exercise was before high intensity resistant exercise. You see, and if you in older age your stiffness and blood flow is not going enough, then this resistant exercises, high intensity resistance exercises just don't work to produce muscle growth. It just don't work. Okay, so but again, you can at least do it wisely for in older age if you combine resistance exercises with aerobic exercises. Aerobic exercise probably after the resistance exercises is better. So, so the exercise order may favorably affect arterial stiffness when aerobic exercises combined with high intensity resistance exercise in the same session. So if you go to gym, again, better don't do it like I did. Don't do aerobic exercises before resistance exercises, but make it after. It's better, okay? Because again, when you do aerobic exercises, you increase blood flow, and blood flow and the supply of nutrients by blood to muscles is important to grow muscles. What I did wrong, and I didn't, my muscles didn't grow because I did it wrong. So I made aerobic exercises before resistant exercises, and then this swelling muscles and inflammation in muscles didn't result in activation of the stem cells, and it didn't result in growth of muscles. But now I do it right. Now I do it better. Okay, let's go further in the details. High intensity interval training for 12 weeks has a favorite effect on arterial stiffness in obese or hypertensive women. So use this medical research, you can read it. Short-term high-intensity interval training programs are associated with significant improvement in aortic stiffness. Okay, this is good way to rejuvenate your body. High-intensity cross-training, there are such also very popular training program, combines elements of high-intensity interval training, weightlifting, with barbells and kettlebells, and some diverse movements like pull-ups, push-ups, and squats. Maybe it is worthwhile to follow this program also. So a high-intensity cross training follows the basic principle of any high-intensity interval training workout, and you will work at high intensity for 30 seconds and then at much lower intensity for next minute. CrossFit, or this high-intensity CrossFit training, is best for people wanting improved strength, endurance, and flexibility. Okay, participating involved in long-term 8 weeks high-intensity cross training demonstrates slightly higher arterial stiffness compared with those involved in aerobic exercise of moderate intensity. You see, but again, it all depends. If you combine resistance exercises and aerobic exercises, order is important. If you do it in wrong order, then you get even that's not improvement of your health, but you have accelerated aging. So you have to understand what you're doing. So this is a CrossFit training. It's combined like aerobic exercises and with some machines, and it combined also weight training, so resistance exercises and the body weight training. So, but again, I don't think it is. Again, if you do it, okay, but you have to do it properly in smart way. Please. Okay, let's see it. Wait. Okay, let's go. Two studies showed that high-intensity interval training is more effective than moderate-intensity continuous training. Okay, so it is like walking is it helps, but it is not giving you blood flow because high-intensity interval training is more efficient and for reducing arterial stiffness and also rejuvenation in young and middle-aged hypertensive patients in young women with at increased risk of for hypertension, while other studies showed that moderate intensity continuous training is more effective than high intensity interval training in reducing arterial stiffness in older disease-free adults. Okay, so conditions can be, you have to understand what is the difference. You have to go to this publication and understand the order of this high-intensity interval training and why it didn't work. It's some you have to understand details and why this works better than other. Well, but again, and it has to be, you have to decide for yourself. It is very personal. It is very individual. So what way of exercises you will choose. So it appears that beneficial effects of exercise are heavily influenced by the volume or quantity of work performed weekly rather than intensity and duration. If the effects of moderate intensity continuous training and high intensity interval training are compared. Okay, so again, if you do it properly and wisely, you can save your time for exercises and get better results. While both high-intensity interval training and moderate-intensity continuous training use high-intensity cardio and strength intervals, this moderate-intensity continuous training focuses more on functional movement training. Pardon me, it is, yeah, I did here mistake. So I compare not moderate-intensity continuous training. I can compare it with this CrossFit. Sorry, so CrossFit and high intensity interval training. Yeah, this is relates to CrossFit. Sorry for mistake. But okay, again, CrossFit training. This has to be not MICT but HICT. Okay, here mistake. Yeah, here mistake. Okay, let's go. High-intensity cross-training does not negatively impact arterial stiffness, and long-term participants exhibit similar arterial stiffness as those engaged in traditional aerobic exercise. Habitual participation in high-intensity cross-fitting exercise is not associated with increased central or peripheral arterial stiffness, indicating a neural or positive effect on cardiovascular health. On the other hand, resistance exercises, especially intense resistance exercises with progressive overload, have been reported to increase arterial stiffness in some studies. Okay, again, you see, arterial stiffness is increasing. Your age, I mean, in my definition, it is vascular aging. Age is increasing if you do only resistant exercises, but combining resistant exercises with aerobic exercises or high intensity interval training, you can get in a way like high intensity crossfitting, cross training, and then you can get much better results. So low intensity resistant exercise before high intensity resistant exercise resulted in increased arterial stiffness, whereas vice versa showed no change in arterial stiffness. You see, if you do a low intensity resistant exercise, it is almost equivalent to aerobic exercise after high intensity resistant exercise. You improve blood flow, you supply oxygen and nutrients to broken muscles, and then it is not does not result in increased arterial stiffness. It does not result in increased and accelerated aging. So, okay, you see, it is essential to consider the specific type of exercise, frequency, intensity, overall duration of the exercise itself. I recommend you go deeper in this and understand the mechanism why aerobic exercise work to rejuvenate your body. Resistant exercise can accelerate your aging. So it is, but combinations can be done and combination work better. Okay, two forms of interval training commonly discussed in literature are high intensity interval training and sprint interval training. So I discussed it in my previous video, so you can read it before about hypoxia. And then high intensity interval training refers to intermittent exercise, alternating 1 minute to 4 minute exercise bouts at 85-100% of peak power output at maximum oxygen consumption, compared by periods of either passive or low intensity exercise, about 20-40% of peak power output recovery. Okay, so you see that there are different high intensity interval training, and so then also you can consider sprint interval training. Sprint interval training refers to intermittent exercise alternating brief 10-second, maybe 30 seconds exercise bouts at intensity or velocity above peak power. Above, so you do you're the best, like it is a real sprint, you're running for your life, and or doing with bicycle and or rowing, whatever, but you get to the maximum intensity what you can do above, and with some pain in muscles, so certainly, and you go above your maximum power, so you consume all oxygen, you bring your body to anaerobic condition, so not enough oxygen to supply to muscles. And then after this intense boot, you give some periods of passive or active recovery. I do it so with a bicycle, so 10-second or maybe 20-second maximum intensity, what I can develop, what I can go maximum, and then little bit slower, then I recover for again 10 seconds maybe. It's again, some people use 4 minutes of recovery or maybe 8-second. I do it like combination of 10-second to maybe 20-second, a little bit recovery, and so it is personal. You can do this or that. So put it simply, the sprint interval training workout may include the exact same exercises like high intensity interval workout, so like cycling or rowing or swimming, but the intensity of the sprint interval training workout is higher and the rest periods are shorter. In my opinion, it works better than high intensity interval training. So mostly cycling and rowing are used for high intensity interval training and sprint interval training. 8 weeks of high intensity interval training and sprint interval training by cycling resulted in improvement of anthropometric measures and cardiorespiratory fitness in a group of 49 young active women of age 40 or 30, pardon, even in absence of changes in dietary intake. Okay, but if you do proper diet, it's even work better. Both protocols appear to be time-efficient interventions, since high-intensity interval training and sprint interval training protocols took 33 and 23 minutes, so respectively. And in high-intensity interval training, it was only 16 minutes of high intensity, and in sprint interval training altogether, it was only 2 minutes of maximum training, maximum efficient, at maximum power. And so it is 2 minutes of work for day, and results are 2 minutes instead of 16 minutes. And even smaller, so you spend not much time sprint interval training, but effects are the same. So sprint interval training delivered slightly better results than high intensity interval training. So you can read the publication. Okay, in my personal appearance, a combination of aerobic exercise with sprint interval training gives the best results. So you can get best results in muscle growth and improvement is vascular elasticity. Vascular elasticity you can measure with pulse pressure. And so I believe, and again, but of course it is, again, you have to understand that in older age, growth of muscles is compromised. Why it is compromised? Because of stiffness of blood vessels. And stiffness blood vessels do not allow to your muscles to grow, because muscles don't get enough oxygen and don't get enough nutrients to grow. So, but in time, slowly, you do it with all the supplements and treatments and etc. So it is working. It took me years, but it works now. I'm surprised and really pleased that from about October, my muscles started to grow with surprisingly high efficiency. So I increased like 2 kilo of meat, 2 kilo of muscles per month. It is, well, it is good. It is really good for young people get such results. Not all people. Before I was going to fitness and to gym and spending 3-4 times a week in gym, 2 hours or more. And I worked hard with resistance training, but I did it wrong because I didn't combine in proper order the aerobic exercise and resistance exercise. I combined it in wrong order because there were publications that for young people, if you do resistance exercises after aerobic exercises, it is better. So for rejuvenation, it is opposite. You have to first to break your muscles, to ignite this acute inflammation and acute damage of your muscles, and then you have to supply nutrients and oxygen and to increase muscle growth, and you do it with aerobic exercise. So you have to and or this sport training, it's the same. So you do the sport, you get maximum load, you break in muscle cells, you ignite inflammation in them, and then you do it some at less efficiency, at less strength, at less power. You do recovery period, and recovery period you also do and some you continue to cycle, for example, or you continue to swim, and then you supply oxygen, you supply blood to the muscles, and then it works. Muscles started to grow, but again, you need the time. I will demonstrate you here. You need time to recover that elasticity of your blood vessels. So before I did wrong order. Now I change it. It works better, but also I believe that supplements and the enzymes what I use and also diet and I sleep better, I think all resulted in such that if I measure my pulse pressure here I'm fully recovered in these measurements. It was in January 24. So it is, you see here the pulse pressure, here only 34. In my young age, when I was 18, my pulse pressure was 30 or even a little bit below 30. It is good, actually good, but you see 34 is not bad, because when I started all this program, my blood pressure was 120 to 80, which considered good for my age. For my age is good, but it is not good for young age. In young age, my pulse pressure was 30 millimeters of mercury or less. Now it is 34, and then I am getting closer to my young age. I definitely consider this as a rejuvenation of my cardiovascular system. And then I started to grow muscles, because now I have blood flow in muscles better than before, 2-3 years before. And it is working. It is working. My pulse resting heart rate is 53. In young age, it was below 50. It was 45, 42 sometimes. So, and if I'm not recovered from intense exercises, you see what is happening. Systolic blood pressure go up, but again, this is good to deliver blood and to deliver nutrients to my tissues. And diastolic pressure also go up, and I have the pulse pressure 33, which is here 34, 33, almost the same. Little bit higher heartbeat rate, again, because I need to supply, my heart is trying to supply more nutrients, and these nutrients are necessary to grow muscles. Everything is fine. This is during the recovery times, this is after recovery times, you see, works properly. And this pulse pressure made my vascular system elastic enough to supply enough of oxygen and nutrients, and muscles started to grow the same like for young person. So I consider this as a sign of rejuvenation. Not only the pulse pressure, when my pulse pressure is getting to the back to my pulse pressure in younger age, this I consider as a sign of rejuvenation, and muscle growth is a sign of rejuvenation. I tried to grow muscles a year or 2 years before, despite big efforts in gym and making resistance exercise, but not in proper order. It didn't work. Yeah, okay. But now I see, I am surprised and I'm pleased very much with the results. So you see that how the understanding what is happening in your body, it can help you to get younger and help you to get that's stronger, also to grow muscles and both get younger. Okay, so this what you have to understand. Aerobic exercises and then the sprint exercises, they are very important to all the process of rejuvenation, of course, together with supplements, together with diet, together with good sleep. Now I sleep 8 hours to recover, and I do swimming 2 hours every day, and then this sport with sometimes with swimming and sport, I mean the sprint in with the bicycle. And only a little bit problem that what kind of muscles are growing, because I swim in fins and I also cycling. Muscles mostly grows on my legs, so I have to add some exercises to my upper part of the body to feel better and to be better and to be eventually like this bodybuilder, so to increase muscle mass in upper part of the body, not only legs. Okay, so you can go and make your own research. I highly recommend you that to do science, because science is not, there is no established science. Science is some opinion. I can have my opinion. I can prove this opinion with some tests, with some measurements, with experiments. This is what I do. I'm a professional scientist. I do it this way. So I make some review of literature, consider what mechanism, what is other people observed, and then I do some conclusions for myself. I try to check them. If it works, I'm fine, I'm doing well, and then I just continue. Okay, so this again, big science, actually relatively big science, and it shows that you can be, even in older age, you can be strong and yeah, and smart, and with no problems, with no degenerative process in your body. So and certainly you can grow muscles and be in older age looking quite strong. Okay, this is all what I wanted to tell you in this video. I hope you find it interesting, and but mind that I'm not medical professional, so it is my opinion can be much different from dominating opinion, and what works for me maybe will not work for you. Be smart, do your own research, and I hope this information what I presented here is helpful for you. Okay, take care. Ciao ciao.